Issued orders for people to stay home, but there were exceptions, like you could go out for a walk or a jog, but that led to crowding at our parks and beaches, which prompted a tougher response with closures of parking lots and threats of a $1,000 fine at our parks and beaches. Joining us from San Diego Police Headquarters is Chief David Nisleit, and so good to have you with us today, Chief.
Thanks for having me.
So let me clarify, where do we stand? Are you enforcing the stay-at-home orders, or how are you handling it?
Well, we are enforcing it, but the means that we're doing that is really through education and asking for that voluntary compliance. And so we have not issued out any tickets, any citations at this point. And that's my hope, that we don't have to. My hope is that, we'll educate whoever's out there, explain the stay-at-home order, explain the closures, but also explain why, the why behind this, and that's to stop that community spread of this virus.
So what's the bottom line? Can people go out for walks and jogs or bike rides at their local parks?
No, the parks are closed. So right now, the beaches, the bays, the parks, the city lakes, our trails, and all those parking lots that accompany those, they're all closed right now under this order.
Well, I know the parking lots are locked off, but as you know, the access to the parks is pretty easy if you're on a bike or on foot. What happens if your jog takes you into a park, say Mission Bay? People may have no idea that they're not supposed to be there. What happens then?
Right, and that's why we're still doing the education. So we're explaining to people that they're in an area that's closed, and then we ask for that voluntary compliance for them to leave.
And what if they should say, I'm not going to leave, I feel like I have a right to be here?
Well, the last-ditch effort, then, that they would be issued a citation that, like you said at the start, has a fine up to $1,000.
Gotcha, but you haven't had to do that yet.
We have not, and I'm hoping that we don't have to. That's our goal.
How about your own officers? How are they protecting themselves in terms of contact with the public?
Our officers are doing great. We're asking the questions if they're showing symptoms. We're asking if they're sick. All those different questions. We're maintaining that social distancing that's so very important right now. And then if we actually have to make contact with somebody, whether it's because they need medical assistance or because we're going to actually make an arrest, then we will put on our masks, our goggles, and our gloves.
Well, your officers contact so many people every day. Have you had any cases where you've discovered someone was positive for the virus and then your officers have had to be quarantined?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. We've had minimal officers had to be quarantined. I'm waiting some results on some officers that have been tested. And so, obviously we know we're coming into contact with folks that have been positive for COVID.
Understood. And can you define for us minimal number of officers? How many are we talking about?
Right now I'm waiting for results on 5 officers. Those officers remain isolated right now. We've had some officers' tests come back negative, so that's great news. So right now the impact, we are being impacted by this.
Are they showing symptoms?
We have some officers that are showing some symptoms, and then we have some others that are isolated just because they've been exposed.
And are they under care?
We're taking great care of the officers, absolutely.
All right. Chief Nisleit, thank you so much for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for all you guys are doing. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.